Thinking Out Loud. I'm Joel.
I am Brad. Hello from Detroit.
Hello from Detroit. Here's what we want to do today. We are going to do an Evaluate the Campaign series. At some point, we'll come up with a better name for the series than Evaluate the Campaign.
Probably we won't, but we'll keep talking about it.
Yeah. For now, this is what we want to do. Is we actually want to evaluate the campaign. So before we go any further, we put a link right down in the description. This is something that Lowe's did with Jake Roper of Vsauce and a couple other YouTubers. Go watch it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it and then come back. We'll wait. Stop watching.
And there's actually two. There's
and
an
there
original
too.
and behind the scenes.
There's the behind. Go watch them both.
You need to watch the first one. You should watch both. Okay.
Okay. We'll wait. And welcome back. All right. So now that you've seen that, here's what our initial reaction was to that campaign. Well done.
Slow clap worthy.
Slow clap. Well done, Lowe's. That was fantastic. So I know that we in past videos we have been highly critical of missed opportunities when it comes to campaigns. Not so this time around.
And we should
really good.
We should note we had nothing to do with it. So
this wasn't ours. Although I would love to have said that we did this.
I would have too. And then we would have said it, and we would have drank our own bathwater and patted ourselves on the back. But in this case, we can't do that.
I would have slow clapped you, Brad. But now I'm slow clapping Lowe's. So we want to get to what's good about it. But first, before we do that, I think it's worthwhile to talk about the problem that Lowe's needs to solve to put this in the broader marketing context. So you want to take that? Or
yeah, it's Saturday.
Okay.
You've got to install a new deck that's going to be 4 feet by 5 feet coming out of your back door. You need to buy the supplies, and you could use a little bit of guidance in terms of which saw is best to cut the wood. Where are you going to go? You're going to go to Home Depot, or are you going to go to Lowe's? And for a lot of people in America, they're just going to go to whichever one's closer, even if that means you're going to drive 0.1 less miles because a lot of Home Depots and Lowe's are next to each other. Right. So look, there can be a problem in terms of differentiation, and some people have strong opinions, but this doesn't seem to be sort of a religious debate. This seems to be something where people don't have strong opinions. So if you can move the needle just a little bit.
Yeah, they might maybe if anyone. I've never met anyone who feels really strongly about either one. I've met people who have a mild preference for Lowe's or Home Depot.
Exactly. So this is a big opportunity, right? I mean, if you can do something that connects with people and makes them think you're pretty cool and be like, yeah, well done, Lowe's. I mean, if you do something that's worthy of a slow clap, that's probably going to move the needle. But yeah, I think the context is really important here, where you have brands that have done really well. They've established themselves, but when you're trying to connect to the next generation, it can be harder. Both brands are kind of maturing now and have been around for 20, 30 years. I don't know the exact number, but they've been around. So you need to keep it fresh in order to keep that edge. And so doing something as part of a YouTube influencer campaign is a great opportunity to keep it fresh. So there's a few things that we think Lowe's did outstanding on this, and I'll go ahead and take the first one.
Okay.
And what's great is it was just we should give the background first. So you've seen the video, but we know maybe one or two of you didn't. So do we want to give a quick 30-second overview of what the Lowe's video?
10-second overview.
Go.
Lowe's asked the question, what would actually happen to if you were in Home Alone and these things happened to you? The door handle grab, the paint can, and then the paint can swinging down the stairs in the face, and then crowbar to the sternum. And so scientifically, what would actually happen, and what would be the true human response to these? And were these I don't even know what like these violent acts of home defense, are they plausible?
Are they life-ending?
Yeah. And so to that end, Jake Roper from Vsauce sets us all up, and then he brings in Rob Czar and Corinne Lee from Threadbanger to be the bandits, and then he brings in Mark Rober of Mark Rober fame to explain some of the science behind the paint can to the face.
The physics of it, in fact.
Yeah, in fact, the physics of it. Yeah, so that's... So to your point, what's good?
You've now seen the video. Yeah, the first thing that's great is it's creative, it's fresh, it's new. So thank you for thinking about a branding campaign differently. I mean, that's what we do. Influencer marketing, we're all about being able to do something different that is effective. Lowe's has done that, and they've done it in a really compelling way. So just the thinking there is great, and everyone knows Home Alone. Everyone knows Macaulay Culkin. It is a part of Americana. So doing something that builds upon that when you're a brand like Lowe's that thrives on that Americana and being part of building something great is a wonderful connection. That's certainly a direct hit, and so want to give a lot of credit there. The second thing is the timing of this. Home Alone, at the end of the day, is a movie about Christmas time.
Yeah.
And Lowe's was thoughtful about doing something leading into the holiday season where people are going to be predisposed to tune into this content. So just it was really, really well thought out in terms of the concept, the timing, and then at the end of the day, the connection to a brand that everyone can relate to.
Yep. That was fantastic. I love that they brought in multiple YouTubers.
Yes.
When you're bringing in multiple YouTubers, you're pulling in multiple audiences. You're pulling in Mark's audience, which is enormous. You're pulling in Rob and Corinne's, which respectively they have, on Threadbanger, Rob Czar and Corinne Lee. Those are all huge audiences. And then of course, Jake Roper has his own sizable audience on Vsauce 3. So that's brilliant. Like, hey, we're not just going to do one, but we're going to do, in fact, 4 huge YouTubers. Here's what I like most about it. So that stuff, that's all good.
Yep.
This is what I like most about it, in that Lowe's fundamentally got what a brand ought to be doing on YouTube, in that they enabled content that would not have happened otherwise. They rented a basically warehouse space.
Right.
They built the entire set from scratch.
They built the entire set. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible. And then they facilitated this incredible content that 4.8 other million people loved, watched, saw, and I'm sure, in judging from the comments and the likes and the shares, this was. There's no metric by which this wasn't immensely popular and wildly successful. So, but they did something that would not have done, and they did it without, banging the shop at Lowe's over Home Depot.
Here
Come
I
to
am.
us. Yeah, they didn't do that, and they fundamentally got that. No, the brand voice needs to sound different, and so instead they've got Jake, they've got Mark, they've got Rob and Corinne saying, this is amazing. We got to do something profoundly interesting. The audience loved the content, and there's all sorts of wild debate. It's like, well, is it really because the neck when it snapped back, and is that accurate? And the paint can crushed, and was the paint can full enough? And they're actually getting in they're getting into the audience is totally engaged in the content, and the whole thing is sponsored by Lowe's. And if the point is what Lowe's needs to get out of this, somebody's going to go to a home improvement store. There just needs to be something subtle shift in the mind to say, I'm going to go there instead of there, and I'm going to walk across that parking lot instead of this one. That's a very, very subtle shift. So they do not need to be heavy-handed here. And what they did it beautifully. They contributed to the community, and out of this, you get content that would not have happened otherwise. That's absolutely fantastic. So that's what I love about it. That's the slow clap right there. Guys, you got it. You got it.
Just a couple of things to pour on the praise, if that's okay. Well,
by all means.
So Lowe's also building the set. It was very implicit signal of their expertise in this area. So it'd be similar to if you were looking at a restaurant and a Panera built this fantastic test kitchen, but didn't talk about all of that, but they just built a test kitchen that allowed different chefs and other YouTuber or influencers to be able to use it. You're building upon,
by the way.
Hey Panera, make it happen. And then the other thing is, everyone already knows Lowe's in terms of the brand, so you don't need to do any education. You can just jump into doing something that's cool and fresh and unique. Hey, other brands don't have that luxury if you're trying to increase awareness. And we work with a lot of brands that are doing that. But again, Lowe's knew what they were trying to do, and they were trying to make people think it was younger, cooler, hipper. Again, check. Great work.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so just just in case we are in danger of offering absolutely nothing at all but effusive praise, which we have up to this point, is there any, not criticism, but perhaps any recommendation of what would have made this just a teensy a little bit better?
Well, frankly, I would love to have some criticism in my back pocket in terms of what they should have done differently with that video. I got nothing. In terms of what they can do to make this a successful campaign over time, I would love for Lowe's to hitch themselves to the YouTube influencer bandwagon with the influencers that have already been part of Home Depot, and just allow that connection to continue to exist. And it doesn't even have to be something as fantastic and elaborate as what they've done with the Home Depot, with the Home Alone ad. But
did you mean Home Depot when you said it 30 seconds ago either?
No.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna have to censor me.
We can annotate that.
But one thing that they definitely could do is continue to develop that relationship and association with these young, cool, hip YouTubers who are also very credible and smart and brand safe individuals.
Yep.
So that's what I would say.
Keep it going. I mean, you guys nailed it. You came out of the gate and hit an absolute, not just home run, but grand slam. Bases loaded, grand slam, bottom of the ninth. Like there could not have been a better start to a company's entree into YouTube. It was pitch perfect. It was absolutely extraordinary. But yes, keep it up. And you don't have to swing for the fences again. Like, it's okay to start as a result of this, to keep it the baseball analogy, start hitting some first and second,
probably
singles and doubles. Not first.
You're up 4-0. Let's just get men on base and see what happens. All right, The analogy's falling apart. I think it's time to end this video.
It's time to go. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Thanks to Lowe's for doing good content and making it happen. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye from Detroit.
Goodbye from Detroit.